well. We know that the men's division was won by UWAS, the women's division was won by TI Amas. But we are focusing on security, because last time I mentioned that if these games happen and then we don't have any issue with security, we will clap for the organizers, and we will definitely clap for the students and urge them to keep that positivity. In fact, this afternoon I will clap for the students for what they were able to do from Wednesday to Friday. In fact, they deserve the claps. They really deserve the claps. But I want to throw you back on the reason why we wanted to prevent this. Listen to the student who was attacked in Agona Swedru when Swedru School of Business as well as Bratre Senior High School students were involved in a fight, and he was at the wrong end of that issue, and he explained what happened. I want to throw back a quick part of it, and then we'll get back to the main story that I want to deal with this afternoon.
This festival, the tears thrown at me when I was looking for a place to sit, so that I'll use the medicine on my eye. That's what happened.
So you were basically just looking for a place to sit?
Yes, it happened unexpectedly.
Okay. So, but tell us, you're saying you didn't do anything to provoke?
No, I didn't do anything. I was just standing there, and they started throwing the stone.
What happened when they started throwing the stones?
I wasn't looking. When I turned, I saw my colleagues running, but I didn't know what was happening. So by the time I realized, the stone came to hit me.
So you're saying you didn't do anything to these particular students?
No, I didn't do anything to them.
So that is the student who suffered that sad incident in faraway Agona Swedru. Well, we are in Ashanti region, and the focus for us was that we learned from this incident. And in fact, the Ashanti region PE coordinator Bernard Blay spoke after the games held at the Barbara Sports Stadium. He mentioned that they did everything possible to curb this incident. In fact, I want us to listen to what he said right here on the big one before we get on the phone lines and talk to my fellow journalist who was at the Barbara Sports Stadium during the games.
We had to put in a lot of measures. In fact, previously the occurrences has not been the best. Sometimes we don't expect them to happen, but they do happen. So day in and day I will try to put in some measures. But this year we had to go extra mile because we never wanted what happened in other regions to also happen in our region. And what happened in Central region was also a wake-up call, not to us alone, but also to the security services. And it became a national issue. So I'm sure there were a lot of instructions being issued even from the national. So I hope even in our subsequent competitions, the same actions will be taken, and we will have peaceful competition at the end of the day.
So that is Mr. Bernard Blay, who is Ashanti Region Physical Education Coordinator, speaking after the event. And this is to say that they have done a pretty good job in making sure that there was no violence at the stadium. In fact, the students comported themselves. I don't know whether it's because it was the Super Zonals, but whatever way that this happened, we need to commend the students for how they handled this. We are proud of them, and we hope that it continues this way, where we wouldn't have a lot of incidents like this. The Ghana Football Association, the National Sports Authority, as well as the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Ministry of Sports and Recreation, always talk about how we can handle hooliganism. On the phone line right now with me is Tofik Gunja, who is a sports journalist like myself, who was at the Barbara Sports Stadium when the events were being held. He works for Elect Schools Leagues. Tofik Gunja, great to have you on the show, and I believe you're doing well.
Oh, I'm doing great, alhamdulillah. And let me first greet YFM listeners and the lovers of the inter-school sports in general.
Okay, quickly, let's talk about the security and what you witnessed in the 3 days that you spent at the Barbara Sports Stadium. What was different from previous years?
Okay. Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. With regards to what happened within the 3 days with the Super Zonals, we witnessed a drastic, let's say, an improved security throughout the 3 days as compared to during the zonal games, right from the 29th January up until the last zone, which was the zone 4. So through the zone 1 up to the zone 5, we witnessed some indisciplinary acts from some of the students and some from old students and some other guys from other areas outside the stadium and within the stadium. But before the sports zonals, the federation sat down and make sure that they need to be some measures that will help to improve and to raise the image of the event and everything together. And part of it was some of the schools were given the task of bringing in masters to sit in within the stands with the students. So to monitor whatever they are doing. And in that one, to each day, after every day, when they go back to school, they have to report to their supervisors, and the report will also go to their headmasters as to what transpired at the stadium. So that was how come they have to check, they have to keep all the students in check within the stadium and those outside the stadium.
Wow, that's impressive.
Because some of the schools like Obote Tech, I understand the headmaster is a new headmaster. He's been in charge for almost 8 months now. He also introduced some measures within the school. So this year we recorded a zero indisciplinary acts among the Obote Tech students.
Okay.
And OKS2 also did their own way of checking them. Once you get to the stadium, there is a wristband that was put in the wrist of each and every student before you get to before you enter the stadium. So once you enter, they have the teachers within the stands and some going around checking. So whoever see that you don't have the bangle on your wrist, you'll be in trouble when you get back to school. And some of them were even disciplined right from the stadium.
Wow. That's very impressive.
So a lot was done just to make sure that we have an incident-free super zonals. And if you go attest with me, you all witnessed and saw a nice and colorful event this year at the Baba Sports Stadium.
Exactly. So in conclusion, if you are rating the security performance at the Baba Sports Stadium, what will be your rate on a score of 1 to 100?
Oh, I'll give them 95%.
Wow. Then that means because we can trust them in the subsequent years.